Hello, fellow Disney nerds! We need to talk about popcorn buckets. Figment popcorn buckets. Are we seriously waiting in line for 7 freaking hours now for popcorn buckets? Is overnight line camping next?
Let's talk about what just happened on opening day of the Epcot Festival of the Arts 2022. Disney did what Disney does. It released a popcorn bucket. And then Disney fans did what we do. We lost our damn minds!
People lined up like Walt himself was back from the dead for one night only and tickets were going fast. The line went on for so long that people documenting it felt the need to show the video in fast forward motion so as not to bore you. By a lot of accounts, there were people who waited in line for hours upon hours to get their hands on this admittedly adorable Figment popcorn bucket.
We're here to talk about why that is. And stick around until the end when we discuss the deep, dark world of Disney's scalpers. And if you're interested in Disney nerd videos like this one, please consider subscribing for more awesome videos made for Disney nerds just like us.
Okay, so back to Figment. A 7-hour wait? What's that about? Why were people willing to wait that long for a popcorn bucket? Well, let's go with the most obvious answer first. The Figment popcorn bucket is super duper cute.
It is.
I mean, look at this little guy. Who doesn't want a Figment popcorn bucket?
Yes, while no one was looking, Figment went ahead and developed a sort of cult following among Disney fans. He's been around at Epcot as a part of the Journey into Imagination ride since the early 80s. I remember seeing him on my first visit to Epcot when I was in the 2nd grade, and yes, I was obsessed with this adorable little guy after that.
But Journey into Imagination has never been one of Epcot's more popular rides, and Disney never made a huge deal out of Figment. Which means he's one of those characters that true Disney fans really love to love because he's totally underground. True fans loved Figment before Figment was cool.
Yeah, Figment's popularity reminds me of Orange Bird. He's another long-running Disney character. He came about in the 70s, but never had a flagship role in the parks. But Orange Bird has seen a huge surge in popularity over the past decade, and these days pretty much any piece of merchandise that features Orange Bird is going to be insanely popular among Disney fans.
So yes, Figment as a popcorn bucket was destined to be popular. But a 7-hour wait? I mean, that's something special. And a big part of that is the scarcity element. Disney made the decision to only sell the bucket at the Pop Eats booth located near the port of entry shop. They could have sold it all over the park, but they didn't. So they turned this into an event. The line couldn't have been a complete surprise to Disney in that regard.
I love that Universal Studios even got in on the action on social media by poking fun at the folks waiting in the line. The park tweeted, "Y'all must really like popcorn," which is really just a great piece of shade throwing. And they went on to remind people that it was just a 35-minute wait for the Velocicoaster. Good stuff, Universal.
But really there's a bigger story here, and that's the culture that's sprung up around Disney's exclusive merch releases. When Disney releases merchandise only in parks, it knows exactly what will happen, and that is that scalpers are going to flood into the parks, load up on as much in-park only merch as they can, race home, fire up their eBay accounts, and turn an 800% profit. And that is predictably exactly what happened here with Figment.
On the same day the popcorn buckets were released in the park, we saw these little babies hitting eBay for as much as $200. And keep in mind that people were paying just $25 in the park, and they got some rainbow popcorn along with that.
Of course, Disney can't keep people from buying merch and then flipping it on eBay. That's going to happen to some extent no matter what. Disney even puts on a show of discouraging scalpers by imposing a 2-item limit on popular merchandise, but as people were quick to point out yesterday, people were still walking away with a lot more than 2 Figment buckets. We can see images of people walking around with these giant bags stuffed to the brim with Figments.
I'll be honest, I try not to jump on any Disney bashing bandwagons, but from a Disney fan perspective, I really feel the company should be doing more to shut down the aftermarket gouging that happens on what they know will be their most coveted items. From Disney's perspective, I realize a sale is a sale, so if it's a scalper, who cares? But from a fan perspective, it can be a really frustrating experience to know that if you're not at the park the day an item like this is released and willing to wait in a completely absurd line, you're just going to be at the mercy of eBay and have to pay whatever someone wants to charge.
So what about you? Would you have waited 7 hours to get your hands on a Figment popcorn bucket? What do you think about the aftermarket situation for Disney in-park merch? Let us know in the comments.
And if you like Disney news and videos like this, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're looking to build a community of Disney nerds just like us, and we want to keep hanging out with you. We're almost to 500 subscribers, so close! Can you help us get there?
Until next time, thumb, sub, bell, Lori, Drew, farewell.